Have you ever wondered why some people don't just follow trends, but actually create them? Why do companies like Google, Facebook, or SpaceX seem to build things that change the world, while others just copy what already exists? That's the core question Peter Thiel explores in his powerful book, 0 to 1, Notes on Startups or How to Build the Future. This isn't just another business book. It's a guide on how to think differently. It's about how to move from 0 to 1 instead of from 1 to many. In other words, how to create something new rather than just repeating what's already been done. So, let's break down these lessons into simple, practical ideas that anyone can understand and apply. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a dreamer, or just someone who wants to make a real impact. First, let's talk about going from 0 to 1. Peter Thiel starts with a simple but profound idea. When you copy something that already exists, like starting another restaurant, another clothing brand, or another app that does the same thing as 10 others, you're moving from 1 to N. You're just adding more of the same to the world. But when you create something entirely new, something the world has never seen before, that's going from 0 to 1. It's the difference between doing what's been done and inventing the future. Every moment of true innovation, the first car, the first computer, the first smartphone, was a leap from 0 to 1. So the first question to ask yourself is, are you copying or are you creating? This leads to the next big idea, the power of thinking for yourself. Thiel says one of the hardest, but most valuable things you can do is to think independently. He was famous for asking job candidates one powerful question. What important truth do very few people agree with you on? It's a question that tests originality. Most people play it safe. We follow the crowd. We repeat what others believe, and we avoid disagreement. But if you want to go from 0 to 1, you have to be willing to think differently. You have to hold a belief that might sound crazy today, but could define the future tomorrow. That's how progress happens. Not by consensus, but by courage. Many people also assume the future is automatic. We think technology will just evolve and life will improve on its own. But Thiel strongly disagrees. He says, the future doesn't just happen. It has to be created. Progress requires vision and intention. Without a plan, we end up with what he calls indefinite optimism, a vague belief that things will somehow get better without any clear direction. But successful people and companies don't rely on luck. They have definite optimism, a clear vision of the future they want to build, and a plan to make it real. Just think about Elon Musk. He didn't just hope for a future of space travel. He went out and built it with SpaceX. Now, here's a concept that might surprise you. Thiel says monopoly is good. In fact, he argues it's necessary for progress. He's not talking about unethical monopolies that unfairly crush competition. He means companies that are so unique, so innovative, that no one else can do what they do. Think about Google. They don't really have competition in search because they are just that good at it. Thiel argues that true innovation creates these natural monopolies, companies that dominate because they offer something others simply can't match. So instead of fighting for scraps in crowded markets, go where there's no competition. Don't compete, create. This ties directly into his next point. Competition is for losers. It's a harsh statement, but hear him out. Most people are obsessed with competition. We want to beat our rivals, win market share, and be number one. But Thiel flips this mindset completely. He says, if you're competing with others, you can't be thinking for yourself. Competition makes you reactive. You end up copying what others do, maybe making it a little better or a little cheaper, but you're not truly innovating. You're stuck in that 1 to N cycle. Great businesses don't just compete. They escape competition by being fundamentally different. So instead of asking, how can I beat my competitors? Ask yourself, how can I make them irrelevant? So how do you build a business that escapes competition? According to Thiel, every great business is built around a secret. This secret is something that few people understand, but that you deeply believe in. It's a hidden truth about how the world works, or how it could work better. PayPal's secret was that online payments could be fast, simple, and trustworthy at a time when people were skeptical. Facebook's secret was that people were willing to use their real identities and build their social lives online. Finding a secret means questioning what everyone else takes for granted. It means looking where no one else is looking and daring to believe that something big is possible. Now, as a venture capitalist, Thiel also learned the tough lesson he calls the power law. This is the idea that a few investments produce most of the returns. In other words, one company in a portfolio might succeed so massively that it covers all the failures, while dozens of others fail or stagnate. This applies to your own life and career too. Not all efforts are equal. That's why he says, don't spread yourself too thin. Focus your time, your energy, and your resources on the one idea that has the potential to be truly great. Because in business and in life, the biggest wins come from the few bold bets that actually work. Of course, even the greatest ideas need great people. A startup isn't just a product. It's a group of people working together toward a shared mission. Thiel famously says, a startup is like a family, not a bureaucracy. This means hiring people who truly believe in the mission, not just those looking for a paycheck. When everyone on the team is aligned around one singular vision, you move faster, communicate better, and build something much stronger. And remember, company culture isn't created by slogans on a wall. It's built by who you hire and what you reward. Another common mistake is believing that if you build a great product, people will just automatically show up. Thiel says this is absolutely not true. Even the best product in the world needs to be sold. Every company, no matter how advanced its technology, is in the business of selling. You have to sell to customers, to investors, to potential employees, and to the world at large. He calls this distribution. You could have the most brilliant idea, but if you can't get it into people's hands, it doesn't matter. So don't just focus on building it. You have to learn how to sell it too. Thiel also has a broader definition of technology. He says technology isn't just about computers or gadgets. It's about doing more with less. It's about finding new and better ways to use our resources, energy, and creativity. He draws a line between horizontal progress, which is copying things that work, and vertical progress, which is doing something completely new. Horizontal progress takes us from 1 to N. Vertical progress is what takes us from 0 to 1. And that is the true essence of innovation, to imagine and create what doesn't exist yet. Finally, Thiel talks about something he calls the founder's paradox. He points out that the founders of great companies are often, well, a little strange. They can be driven, obsessed, even eccentric. And that's often part of what makes them so great. From Steve Jobs to Elon Musk, founders often have extreme qualities: intense confidence, unwavering vision, and stubbornness. Those same traits that might make them difficult in some situations also what make them unstoppable. So if you feel different, if you think differently, maybe that's not a flaw. Maybe it's your greatest advantage. Ultimately, 0 to 1 is a book about the courage to create. It's about seeing opportunities where other people only see limits. It's about building something valuable, meaningful, and completely new. Thiel challenges all of us to look around and ask, what valuable company is nobody building? It's a call to action, not just for entrepreneurs, but for anyone who wants to shape the future instead of just waiting for it to happen. He reminds us that the biggest risk is not failure. It's being the same as everyone else. So, the heart of Peter Thiel's message is this: don't just add to the noise. Create something new. Think for yourself. Take bold steps toward the unknown. The future doesn't belong to those who copy. It belongs to those who create. Every great business, every world-changing innovation, every movement that ever changed the world started with one brave idea that went from 0 to 1. So the final question is, what will your 0 to 1 be? Thanks for watching. If you found these ideas inspiring, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the books and ideas that shape our world. See you next time.